Welcome back, guys, to day 2 out here in Minnesota. So we got some rain last night. Wasn't bad, a little bit, just enough to make it a little snotty, but it's still workable. But they are calling for possible thunderstorms this afternoon, so that has kind of changed the possible plan for the day. So here's what we've got. We're gonna drop back to that stake right there, and we're gonna strip all the rest of that little topsoil. And then we've got a little strip running down the side here that we're gonna go ahead and strip off. And we're gonna push it down there to the bottom of the hill. And then this whole area kind of out in front of us is going to get dropped down about 3 feet. And all of that material is gonna get baled back over here. And we're gonna start balancing that area basically in front of Colton's truck there, down to that topsoil pile. We're gonna try to balance that area out. Look at that. A phone call. How shocking is that? Anyway, we're gonna balance that area out so that we can then take that big pile of topsoil sitting there and throw back up to the area that we've balanced, and then we'll continue to balance down the hill. And what that will allow us to do is kind of prep for possible rain this afternoon. So once we get this whole area dug down, we're gonna go, sorry, can't talk. We're gonna drop back down in the road because this still needs to come down about 2 to 3 feet, this section of roadway here. So we are going to grab all of that material and bale it back up over here so that we can continue to balance. So that will get us through about lunchtime. They are calling for rain around 1. So by the time we get all this done, I feel like we should have a good handle on what the weather's gonna do. And then from there, what we can do is we've got 2 options. If the rain's coming, it's gonna be prepare for the rain. So we've got a couple little swales we need to cut in, a couple little dress up things that we need to do so that this area out here in the middle isn't gonna hold any water. If we aren't getting rain, then we're gonna actually start stripping topsoil and preparing for haul trucks, because supposedly Carson has a haul truck that's coming either this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, in which case we can really start making some progress on retention ponds. So if we don't have rain this afternoon, let me spin you back around. I apologize, guys. This whole area over here we're going to strip, and then on the back side of that pile in between the 2 rows of silt fence, not this kind of boxed area, but where the pipe's sitting back there, we're gonna start stripping that whole area because those are the 2 retention ponds we have to dig out. So we're only gonna open that up if we don't have rain coming this afternoon. If we do have rain, then obviously there's no point in opening up more grade. So that's the plan. So I think I'm gonna jump back in the hoe and I'm gonna start helping strip, and then I'm gonna start baling material. So that being said, as always, we'll catch you guys here in a minute in the seat of the machine. See you in a minute. All right, and away we go for the day. We'll go get in position over here and start baling. You got your radio on?
Sure do.
Where does that cut start back here? Boy, having these radios is nice.
Probably back behind you a little bit is final grade.
And then how deep of a cut are we kind of out in front of you?
My right blade tip here has to go down 2 feet.
And then you want me to pull that bank away from the road another foot, foot and a half, 2 feet?
I mean, the bank has to come down a little too.
But you're actually wanting the road widened out another couple feet?
I probably could, you know. I don't know. I mean, it's still a little bit of topsoil in here, but I'm hitting clay in a few spots, so.
All right, as soon as you move out of the way, I'll step up there and start pulling that bank back, and then I'll bring it up and step it up to where I'm only cutting about 2 feet or so.
All right.
That is super handy. I never worked on a job with radios. Okay, I suppose we can get up here and start cutting. Let me think about how I want to set up here. All I'm doing here is getting the rest of this little bit of topsoil out of here so I can make a clay pile that he can start. Okay. So I think I might be a little deep off there to the left. I'm gonna come up a little bit, let him trim if he needs to. At the end of the day, if we go a little deep, we've got that sheep's foot out here. It's not the end of the world. This isn't a building pad here, so if we have to fill it back, you know, the biggest issue with that is the fact that you've double touched it. It's not necessarily that you're gonna have, I'm not worried about settling issues. It's more the fact of wasted production. And everyone in the industry knows how much wasted production sucks. Nobody wants that. See, these are the jobs I really enjoy, where you're just baling material. You don't have to worry about being super accurate. You don't have to worry about any overhead obstructions. It's just a nice day of digging in the dirt. That's what I like about this industry, is just digging in the dirt. I'm trying to think of the best way. I need to take this bank back another couple feet. I'm trying to think about the best way to do that. So you might wonder how I'm kind of gauging how much of a cut I need here at the road. He's got subgrade there, pretty well cut. It's within, like, I don't know, a half a foot or so. And then you're from clay grade, I should say. The base is actually going to raise it up, plus the asphalt is going to raise it up about 3 feet. So I need to be roughly 3 feet above that clay grade. So that's kind of how I'm visually just trying to figure out where I am here. And then I know that off to my, well, now because we've spun, it's behind me, but I know behind me we've roughly got a 2 foot cut. And so I'm kind of blending those two elevations that I'm aware of. I'm kind of roughly blending them together. And that is how I'm judging how to make my cuts. A lot of guesstimation. And you can see here we're getting pretty tall, so this is going to have to be cut down a little bit. Yeah, that bucket curl is struggling just a little bit with that clay. And if it's not obvious, the reason I'm not swinging the short weight each time is because Colton's over here with the dozer, and I don't want to swing into him. It allows us to be a little more productive if I swing the way I have been, and that way he can keep rolling and he's not waiting on me to get out of his way. I'm not waiting on him to get out of my way. Alright guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to obviously keep digging, because that's what I'm getting paid for, right? But I am going to go throw the drone up in the air and do a hyperlapse so you guys can kind of watch our progress as we work on this project. So that being said, we'll catch you guys here in a little bit. Alright guys, we've been at it for, I don't know, an hour and a half or so. You can see we've made a fair amount of progress. Now that being said, I still have to take, about 2 more feet, 3 more feet out there in the middle. So we're going to come back after I finish this kind of lift out. We'll drop back and take that second lift. The reason I didn't do that initially is because, as you can see when I turn here, Colton is pushing the material out that way, and if I left him a 3-4 foot lip, it would have been significantly more difficult for him to push that material out. So instead I'm kind of letting him keep pace with me here, and now that he's got that front area opened up, I'll go down and I'll start dropping the next couple of feet. So that's kind of where we're at here. It's 10:40, so we've got about 2 more hours until those thunderstorms are supposed to hit, so it's still too early to really tell what we're going to do with the rest of our day here. Spin back around, because I'm getting pretty dang close to where the grade touches back. So I think I'm going to start shallowing up here, because I think we're getting pretty close to where we need to come. And I can leave the rest for Colton with the dozer so he can do it accurately. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's just been a lot of hogging like we are doing right now. This is all I have been doing for the last hour and a half. Just dig, 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 dig. On the other side of this pile, Ryan is running the sheep's foot, and so as Colton puts this down in roughly 1 foot lifts, Ryan is running the sheep's foot over it so that we get good compaction all the way down, because this is a house lot over you know, right behind where I'm dumping right now is a house lot. And the actual house is going to go in that area. So we do have to get good compaction. That's part of the reason we were careful to strip all the organics out of there, because eventually that will be a basement dig. And especially, I mean, obviously you strip organics because it's the right thing to do and it's you know, doing your job, but especially when you're the one that's going to eventually dig the basements, you certainly want to strip the organics because you'd only be screwing yourself. Alright, we're going to start coming out of our cut right in here. So I'm just going to kind of slowly bring this level with the existing grade. And then we'll let Colton come and dial this part in here. I will say this, I'm in a Doosan 225, and for the most part I like the machine, and I don't know if it's, I'm assuming it's because of the coupler combined with this sand bucket. The sand bucket's a little long, but it seems to be lacking in the curl power with the bucket cylinder. So I don't know what that's about. I mean, I know this is sticky clay and I've got a smooth lip bucket, but still, it just feels like it's lacking a little bit on the bucket curl. Back up a hair more, clean that up, and then we'll run up there and start setting up for our second pass. And while he's doing that, we're going to spin around so my finals are behind me. Well, it's looking a little dark back over there. So we'll watch Colton dig this in real quick. He's just, basically, if he can give me 20, 30 feet that I can kind of see what the grade's doing, that will give me visually something I can go off of, so I know when I'm cutting too deep and when I need to stay shallow. So, and away we go for round 2. So that was a text message, and that might be a status update on our second dozer. Let me check that real quick. I'm hoping that's what that is. Carson just texted, it sounds like we might be getting a Komatsu. He's trying to line out trucking for it now. Well, that would be sweet. Boy, if we can get that sucker trucked out here, that'd be great.
That would be good.
Yeah, that would make this whole process go a heck of a lot faster. This is the fun part about land balancing. You got to kind of on the fly figure out what you're going to do, because if we've got rain, there's no sense in me opening this all up. We may go work in another area instead of tearing this up and generating more material that we're going to have to move again later. So if you didn't catch that, it was a little garbled on the radio. Basically, I'm just going to tidy this pile up. That way if we get rain, he can come over here with the dozer real quick, slick it off, and we're good. It doesn't really make sense to take this second lift if he's not going to be able to burn it up over there, because ultimately what's going to happen, like we talked about yesterday, out in front of us is where that stockpile of material is going to go. Basically all extra material is going to be in a big mound over there. So if all of this material has to go over there, it makes more sense to take this second lift when we have a haul truck running, which we might have here in the next day or two, and that way we're not double touching everything. So he's going to go see if we can use most of that pile. If that's the case, I'm going to go down there and I'm just going to bale it another 180 degrees behind me to get it out there a little further so he's not having to push so far. And that would be a better use of our time. And then if we've got time, depending on where the dozer is, where the rain is and everything, We've got an area of the road out there that we're going to cut down, but that's close enough we can push it over to where our stockpile is going to be. We can at least lose the material and we're being productive instead of just generating more material we have to double touch. So that, all of this is a great little window into kind of the discussions that go on a job, figuring out how you can be productive, how you're not going to waste time and fuel. Because as you know, if we go through here and cut all this, that's probably going to take another hour and a half or so to get that second cut. That's an hour and a half of fuel burnt. That's an hour and a half of maintenance on all these machines. And then we're only going to have to turn around and grab it again to throw it into haul trucks to move across the street. Like, that's all wasted time and energy. So you're constantly having to think on the fly of what's going to be most productive and most efficient and keep the most time and hours off of the machine. So there you go. There's a perfect little window into the day of a dirt project. And you know, I think I'm going to record it down and dirty on this exact topic, just because this is something that guys don't comprehend. Most people outside of the industry don't really comprehend. You know, you've heard me say it over and over on this channel that we're a bunch of dumb dirt guys, and I hope by this point you've gathered that I'm being completely sarcastic, because there is a lot of on-the-fly planning and strategizing, and you've got to be able to, you know, kind of adapt and improvise on the fly. This is not an industry for dumb individuals. Yeah, if you're just a simple stick puller, you can be a little dumb, but if you're in any sort of a position to make decisions in this industry, you got to have some brain power, because there's just a lot of variables that are constantly changing and constantly in play that you've got to be thinking about all the time. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll go record it down and dirty here in just a second. All right, guys, I think I've rambled long enough, and I'm just continuing to move dirt. I'm sorry. The word thing. Here I am talking about how smart you have to be in the excavating industry, and I can't even use proper English. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough, and I'm just moving dirt like I have been for the past hour and a half, which you guys have seen. So I'm going to flip the camera off and get this tidied up like we just discussed. And I will probably hit you guys here in a little bit with an update, whether that is rain or us moving to a different area of the job. So we'll catch you guys here in a little bit. Okay, guys, back at it. We just finished lunch. And we are not getting the dozer until tomorrow. So it is confirmed we are getting the dozer, but not until tomorrow. So I am using the loader as a dozer because we got to make something work, and that excavator was going to be too big of a pain in the ass to try to cart this stuff around. So yeah, here we are. So I figured I'd get you guys some loader footage. Oh. All right. And I will say, Case, again, I know you guys watch my videos. I have secret insider information. You guys watch my videos. You guys stop goofing around and give me a call, because I love your equipment. This Case, this is a D Series 621. She's been in salt. She's worn out. She's got snow tires on her. Like, everything is going against me doing dirt work in this machine. And yet this thing is an absolute tank. And everyone out here is impressed with how well this thing is doing in the conditions. I love Case equipment. I do. I love the dozers. I love the loaders. I love the excavators. So call me, Case. Call me. Ooh, a little soft there. A little soft. You got to be a little more careful on a dirt job with clay than you do on a road job with stone. Everything is not as firm, and you can't be quite as confident on a dirt job with how stable you're going to be. So they're still calling for the possibility of rain. We got a couple showers that are popping up on the radar. We just got a few little, and I mean little, sprinkles. But as of right now, it's looking like we're going to be able to continue to work this afternoon, which is good, because I didn't really want to call it early on this job. I really want to get this sucker knocked out by the time I leave town. or pretty dang close at least. So I think the plan for this afternoon, we'll see how far we get on this whole hillside. And then instead of going down there and stripping topsoil, I think we're gonna drop back to that cut area for two reasons. One, in case we do get any rain, I don't want to open up a whole new section that's going to get all nasty. And so if we leave all the topsoil, we can strip that. You know, if it turns into mud, we're just stripping all the mud off, and then we can continue working down there tomorrow. The second reason is we should have that dozer here tomorrow, and I would much rather strip with a dozer than with the loader like we did yesterday. It's just much more efficient at doing that. So I think we'd be more productive dropping back and doing that cut and then having Colton push it out, or like I said, we're gonna have that dozer tomorrow. I can push it out tomorrow with the dozer. So I believe that will be the plan. We'll see how far we get on this whole section here. And to give you guys an idea, because I'm sure somebody out there is asking why we are doing things the way that we are. Yesterday Ryan stripped topsoil, and in his defense, no one told him where to put it. Anyway, what was I saying? The topsoil pile down there that's kind of in the big middle of everything. No one told Ryan where to put it, and he started just chucking it, and he put it there because it seemed like a good spot at the time. It turns out that is like a 7-foot fill. So it's kind of right in the middle of everything. So instead of having to move it again, like we talked about earlier, you try to do as little double or triple touching as possible. What we're gonna do is get all this balanced, this whole hillside, and then we don't really have a reason to get back on this hillside once it's balanced. So we can then actually use that topsoil pile to topsoil this slope, and then we will be kind of done in this area. And the topsoil pile will be fully out of our way, and we can focus on filling that, and then we can use material from our retention ponds down there. And so we're not going to be doing any long hauls or anything like that. So that's kind of the rhyme and reason that we are using right now. It almost sounded like I heard a tornado warning siren going off, which, you know, the clouds don't look that bad. And maybe that was just my ears deceiving me. It's not my ears deceiving me. Hang on, guys. I gotta figure out what's going on here. Are you showing anything on your phone about tornadoes? Because I could have swore I just heard a tornado siren going off. I don't know, guys. Not really sure what's happening right now. If I randomly blow away, you'll know there was apparently something important on that radio station. Honestly, the sky doesn't look bad. But those are kind of the storms that cause problems, are the ones where there's big temperature fluctuations, and I wonder if that's what's going on. Ooh, this machine, she does not like to turn sharp. And I have a feeling that's from all the salt she's been in. There's some, I don't know if it's the U-joints or what, something's going on down there that it does not like turning sharp. A lot of creaking and groaning going on there. Oh. That is one thing about running loaders. As much as I do love them, they are bouncy machines when you're not on the road. You'll notice the way I load my bucket is a technique that I watched a couple really good operators do, and I've really latched onto it because it's really effective. You actually kind of take the bucket and flick the material back in the bucket. So it's a quick shake in, like a curl in, but then you immediately turn around and curl the bucket back out to kind of dig back into the pile. And it's really effective at loading the bucket. Especially when you're in really sticky stuff like this clay we're dealing with. You know, normally it's really difficult in sticky clay to get a full bucket, but with that flick technique, you can really get into that pile and kind of nudge your way in. Yeah, you can see there was a prime example. As soon as I did that flick, it kind of broke it all free and had it cascade down. So he's wanting me, he's got the GPS, which is why he's telling me where to put material. But he's wanting me to kind of push out this way. So we will do that. Like I said, this old girl can push. She's still got it in her. But good luck if you want to stop hard. The parking brake does not work in this machine. All right, I'm gonna get it behind this pile and see if I can't push a little bit. Now that I got a corner kind of worked free here. And we talked about it yesterday. If you get wheel spin, that means you need more down pressure. It does not mean that you need to push less material. It means you need to angle your cutting edge down so you dig, but lift your boom arms so that it puts that down pressure on your tires, and that will cause them to grip so they stop spinning. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep at it. Flip the cameras off, and I'll catch you guys here in a little bit. All right, guys, we have another set of storms coming. Unfortunately, this one does not look like it's going to dissipate. It's only going to build. So we are in a mad dash to get this disaster we've created all straightened up and slicked off so that it can rain. And the nice thing about this clay is, you know, the surface becomes snotty. So if you try to work on it while it's super wet, it's a disaster. But if we can get it slicked off before the rain gets here, the rain tends to sheet off of it pretty well. And so that's what we're working on right now, is this storm kind of looms in the background. So we are feeling the pressure now, unfortunately. I was really hoping that last little bout of drizzle and rain that we got was going to be it. But the one that's coming is going to be the big one this afternoon. So the race is on. And unfortunately, we didn't think we were going to get this one, so we have totally bombed out this slope trying to get it roughly dialed in. It looks like a disaster. There is a rhyme and reason to it. I came in here and scratched down with the hoe to make the dozing go quicker. And then we wanted to carve out the road so that we could push it all at the same time, which is why it all looks like a bomb. But now we've kind of put ourselves in a situation where we've opened up a lot of grade that's going to have to get closed up before this rain hits. The nice thing is this loader I keep bragging on pushes like a tank. So I'm able to hog a fair amount of this while Clayton makes sure that road, the clay grade for the road is going to drain. So we've at least got that going for us. And then we've got Ryan on the sheep's foot trying to get this all compacted, because I'd like to just get a couple lifts in here so we can get rid of all this material and it's also not going to waste. So that's where we're at and what we're up to. And Clayton should be done with the road there shortly, and then he'll jump up here and start helping me dress this up. Ooh, it's looking dark back over there. It's not gonna be, this one's gonna be cutting it close. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried. Come on, baby, push. Alright guys, no fancy big camera tonight because it's starting to rain. So we were able to slick this off just in time. It's not beautiful, it's not pretty. There it is. You know, it's basically going to shed some water. It does look like on the radar it's kind of breaking up as it gets to us, so we've got that going for us. But yeah, that's going to be it. Unfortunately, no drone shots tonight because of the rain. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow when hopefully it's a little drier. We'll see you guys later.